At 6:12 a.m., somewhere in America, a 24-year-old man wakes up already tired. Not physically, mentally. He checks his phone before his feet touch the floor. Bad news, bills, emails, rent reminder, student loan notification. Another millionaire telling him, if you're broke, you're not trying hard enough. Crowded subway, empty coffee cup, people staring at screens, luxury TikTok clips, a girl crying silently in a bathroom, a man pretending to smile at work. Crowded subway, empty coffee cup, people staring at screens, luxury TikTok clips, a girl crying silently in a bathroom, a man pretending to smile at work. He works hard, really hard. Yet every month, he somehow ends up with less energy, less hope, less money. And slowly, he starts believing something dangerous. Maybe I'm the problem.
But what if he isn't? What if millions of people are following rules designed for a world that no longer exists? Because over the last 20 years, the system quietly changed, and almost nobody explained the new game. This documentary is not about laziness, not about excuses, not about get rich quick. This is about psychology, money, pressure, and the invisible system training an entire generation to feel permanently behind. Stay until the end, because the final lesson is the difference between looking financially successful and actually being free.
1. The invisible financial trap. Imagine two people. One earns $40,000 a year. The other earns $140,000. Who's happier? Most people instantly choose the second. But here's the disturbing part. Millions of high-income workers still feel trapped, still anxious, still terrified of slowing down. Why? Because modern financial suffering is no longer just economic, it's emotional. Instagram mansions, you're wasting your 20s, luxury vacations, morning routines, crypto success stories, fake entrepreneurs. For the first time in history, people compare themselves to thousands of richer people every single day. Before social media, people compared themselves to neighbors. Now, a teenager compares himself to a millionaire before breakfast. And the human brain was never designed for that. So something strange happens. A person with food, shelter, a paycheck, still feels poor. Not because they're starving, because psychologically, they feel behind. Have you ever opened social media and suddenly felt like your life was losing? That feeling matters, because insecurity changes spending behavior. And later in this documentary, you'll discover why entire industries secretly profit from that feeling.
2. The new economic reality nobody prepared people for. For decades, young people were promised a simple formula. Study hard, get a degree, work hard, stay loyal, and life will become stable. But then, reality changed faster than expectations. Housing exploded, food prices climbed, healthcare became terrifying, rent became suffocating, education became debt. Meanwhile, many salaries barely kept pace. So millions entered adulthood believing they failed, when the economic environment itself had changed. Sarah graduated with honors, perfect grades, perfect attendance, massive ambition. She believed discipline guaranteed security. By 28, she had student loans, credit card debt, panic attacks, and a full-time job that barely covered survival. Every night she whispered the same question: what am I doing wrong? But maybe the better question is, why are intelligent people working harder than ever while feeling less secure than their parents? Because modern economies...
3. The attention economy is eating people alive. Modern corporations discovered something terrifying. Distracted people spend more money. So every platform fights for your attention like a war.
Notifications, flash sales, luxury influencers, dopamine loops, limited time offers, buy now, pay later. Everything is engineered to trigger emotion before logic, and emotionally exhausted people are easier to influence. Because when humans feel stressed, lonely, insecure, invisible, they crave relief. Sometimes that relief becomes shopping. Not because they need something, because buying creates temporary emotional control. Have you ever purchased something, felt excited for 1 hour, then regretted it the next day? That's not stupidity. That's emotional spending psychology. Now repeat that pattern for 10 years. Tiny purchases, small subscriptions, impulse upgrades, late-night scrolling purchases. One day, people look at their bank accounts and genuinely cannot explain where thousands disappeared. Not through one catastrophic decision, but through hundreds of emotional micro-decisions.
4. The success trap no one talks about. Here's something almost nobody explains. A raise does not automatically create freedom. Sometimes it creates a more expensive prison. Better salary, bigger apartment, nicer car, luxury gym, more subscriptions, higher expectations. And suddenly, someone earning 6 figures feels just as financially trapped as before. Because lifestyle inflation is silent. Freedom is not measured by income alone. It's measured by pressure. How much pressure follows your paycheck? A man finally bought the car he dreamed about for years. Leather seats, perfect color, luxury badge. His friends congratulated him. Social media loved it. But privately, every monthly payment gave him anxiety. The car upgraded his image, while quietly damaging his peace. Some purchases impress strangers, while secretly stealing your future.
5. Why digital money feels dangerously fake. Cash feels painful. Swiping a card feels invisible. And that changes human psychology completely. Because physical money creates emotional awareness. Digital spending removes friction, which means people can spend enormous amounts without emotionally feeling the loss. Millions are not drowning because of emergencies. They're drowning because normalized debt became modern culture. Monthly payments became normal. Financing became normal. Living beyond your means became normal. And financial stress became background noise. What's the first thing most people do after getting paid? They spend. Immediately. Not because they're irresponsible, because almost nobody taught emotional control around money. But wealthy families often teach one powerful lesson very early, a lesson most people never hear. And near the end, that lesson changes everything.
6. The social media wealth illusion. Before the internet, wealth was private. Now, wealth became performance. Rented Lamborghinis, fake trading screenshots, fake entrepreneurship, luxury Airbnb flexing, motivational speeches from people secretly in debt. Millions now compare their real lives to someone else's edited fantasy. And over time, constant comparison creates financial hopelessness. Because social media destroyed patience. If success doesn't happen instantly, people think they're failing. A young man watched millionaire content every single day. At first, he felt inspired. Then slowly, his normal life began feeling worthless. A regular job felt embarrassing. Slow progress felt humiliating. Discipline felt boring. He stopped respecting patience. And when people stop respecting patience, they become vulnerable to desperation. And desperate people make dangerous financial decisions. 7. Why most people never start investing. Most people think investing is about money. Often, it's actually about fear. Fear of losing, fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, fear of starting too late, fear of looking stupid. So they wait, and wait, and wait.
time quietly punishes hesitation. Because in finance, time is often more powerful than intelligence. The problem is, modern life traps millions in survival mode, and survival mode destroys long-term thinking. When someone worries about rent, food, bills, medical emergencies, their brain focuses on surviving today, not building 10 years from now. That's why financial education matters. Not because everyone becomes rich, but because knowledge reduces panic, and panic destroys decision-making.
8. The hidden cost of money stress. Financial pressure changes human behavior. It changes sleep, relationships, confidence, health, patience, identity. Money problems don't stay inside bank accounts. They enter the nervous system. Some people are not lazy. They are mentally exhausted from surviving. A father worked overtime for years trying to provide for his family. One night, his daughter quietly asked him, "Why are you always tired?" And something inside him broke. Because he realized he was financially surviving while emotionally disappearing. What's the point of making money if the process destroys your peace completely? 9. Why wealthy thinking feels different. Survival thinking asks, how much does this cost? Wealth-focused thinking asks, what freedom does this create later? That single shift changes lives. Many financially intelligent people delay luxury for years because they understand something most people learn too late. Temporary pleasure fades quickly. Cash flow changes lives permanently. This doesn't mean wealthy people are morally superior. Many rich people are deeply unhappy too. But financially educated people usually understand delayed gratification. And modern society trains the exact opposite. Instant dopamine, instant food, instant entertainment, instant shopping, instant validation. Patience became rare, and rare skills become powerful. 10. The subscription economy trap. One subscription feels harmless, 10 feel invisible, 30 quietly become financial leakage. Streaming services, apps, premium memberships, cloud storage, delivery fees, auto-renewals. Tiny leaks destroy giant ships. Modern business models are built around recurring payments because invisible spending creates less emotional resistance. If you checked every subscription right now, how many would genuinely surprise you? Now imagine losing hundreds every month for years, not from emergencies, from convenience. 11. The obsession with looking successful. There's a massive difference between being wealthy and appearing wealthy. Looking rich is expensive. Real financial security is usually quiet. Some truly wealthy people drive ordinary cars, avoid attention, live below their means, protect their peace. Meanwhile, some people drowning in debt look successful online every single day. A young entrepreneur built his entire identity around looking important. Luxury dinners, designer clothes, expensive watches, perfect Instagram image. But privately, he lived with constant fear, because the lifestyle was built on pressure, not stability. One day, he stopped performing for strangers, started saving, started investing, started disappearing from social media. And for the first time in years, he finally slept peacefully. 12. The 3 rules that quietly change financial lives. Most people search for one magical secret, but financial stability usually comes from repeated small behaviors. Rule 1. Stop spending energy trying to impress strangers. Rule 2. Master one valuable skill deeply. Rule 3. Buy time before buying status. Freedom grows slowly, and modern culture hates slow growth, because social media trained people to expect overnight transformation. But real wealth usually looks boring in the beginning. Quiet saving, consistent investing, learning, patience, discipline. No viral moment, just consistency repeated for years. 13.
The most expensive emotion in money. Do you know the most expensive emotion in finance? Ego. Ego causes overspending. Ego creates fake lifestyles. Ego makes people chase validation they cannot afford. And ego makes people ignore reality, until reality becomes painful. But humility quietly saves people. Because humble people adapt, learn, budget, plan, recover. Viewer question: how many financial decisions are actually emotional decisions, pretending to be logical ones? And now, we arrive at the lesson wealthy families quietly pass down for generations. The lesson that changes how people see money forever. 14. The wealth lesson most people never hear. Wealthy families often teach one powerful idea early. Money is not for showing people. Money is for protecting freedom. Freedom to say no. Freedom to leave toxic jobs. Freedom to rest. Freedom to spend time with family. Freedom to survive emergencies without panic. That is the real purpose of wealth. Not applause, not internet validation, not fake status. The tragedy is, millions spend their entire lives chasing the appearance of success, while secretly losing peace. And maybe the American dream didn't completely disappear. Maybe it changed forms. Maybe today, the real dream is not becoming famous, not becoming flashy, not becoming viral. Maybe the real dream now is becoming financially calm. To sleep peacefully, to owe less, to think clearly, to stop performing, to finally breathe again. Because in a world addicted to looking rich, being mentally free may become the rarest form of wealth left. If this documentary changed the way you see money, or made you realize you're not alone in this struggle, then share this video with someone who truly needs to hear it. And if you want more powerful documentaries about money, psychology, success, and the hidden systems shaping modern life, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you never miss the next documentary, and become part of this growing community. Because the next video may completely change the way you think about money forever. And before you go, leave a comment below. What's the biggest financial lesson life has taught you so far? We read every story. Also, follow and join our Facebook page for exclusive content,